Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, 7 April 2025. Here we are in Vrindavan. I have a voice of happiness, but I'm amazed. I'm just amazed. I'm a Hare Krishna since about 1969. I got thrown out of the Navy. I got thrown out of the Navy by the Admiral, no less than the Admiral. He thought I was a subversive, conspiracy person from some cult. The guy was so scared. The guy was so scared that when his car passed by, with the little flags and everything, I'm dressed as a Navy man, and I'm proud of being a Navy man. My dad retired as an U.S. Air Force major, and he had helped many things. He helped the last air base in France, Etienne, France, near Verdun and Nancy. He helped. He had just a way of dealing that he knew how to take that base and give it to the people in a nice way. He always studied on how to be nice. I saw him reading that one book, The Ugly American. I says, Dad, what are you doing reading The Ugly American? He says, no, I got to understand how not to be an ugly American and what it means to be an ugly American. So he could deal with anybody, and he loved dealing with people. And it was, so whenever he went to a place, he went to Moultrie, and then he was the adjutant there. Then he went up to Rantoul, and at every place he went to, they knew his abilities and everything. So I'm not glorifying my father to the ultimate and everything, but he knew what he's doing. And I'm very proud of him. Very proud. And I wanted to be a son of I made rank very fast. I made rank so fast in the Navy that I had, if I was given the benefit of time, I would have been at a higher rank. In other words, I was taking tests for the next rank, and I'd had to wait for the time for it to develop, to come in. So already, even before 4 years, I was already at first class. I was already first class man. I put out 2 fires inside that submarine. 2 fires. One was a blowing up of the plant that makes the oxygen. The plant blows up, and I'm sitting there on watch, and the fires are whipping at my face, and I'm sitting there, and the captain, of course, captain calls up because the whole boat shook. And we're on duty. We're the sneaky guys trying to be on duty. And he says, he asked me how everything was going. I says, well, it looks like the 4th of July here. Everybody's celebrating. Because that's what it sounded like. And but the fires hitting my face, they were mostly hydrogen, and they felt cool. So I didn't care about it. I just had to wait until it went down and go check everything out. And then one time also I kept on telling him that hydraulic valve, main steam valve, it's going to develop a fire. And the hydraulic valve was leaking, very little bit, but it was leaking. So of course it did develop a fire, but I was ready, I already knew. That's in the upper part, in the submarine. So while we're out there trying to go someplace, in the upper part of the submarine, I'm like trying to shimmy up this pipe. It's a big pipe. It's about like this. and I'm asking the person to please give me the handheld spray bottles, you know. So I was up there by myself, no protection on my face and anything, and I'm shimmying down this pipe, and I'm having fun, and I just put out the fire. And the smoke's in the whole compartment. You know, this is the place where they're conducting all the rods. There's rods that go into the reactor, and you bump the rods up or you bump the rods down, and that makes the ship go faster or slower. And they're in control of all the steam and everything. I was in control of lower part of the, you know, the aft part, mechanic part. I was in charge of that place. I was also in charge of the forward part of the mechanical parts, not the electrical parts. And I was just about in charge. You know, in charge means not there's not anybody else, but you know, when I'm on watch, I'm in charge of that area. So I was almost put in charge in the upper part of the mechanics. And that was mostly the long-time first-class people. But as soon as I was going to get first class, I was going to be in charge of all that. And all of a sudden, the admiral sees me on on Easter Day, chanting Hare Krishna, dressed up as a Hare Krishna. Now, of course, this admiral, I think, what had happened is that when he was in Vietnam, he saw the Buddhist guy burn himself up. I think that was 1963 that he burned himself up, and this was already in 1970. Because I'm trying to bring a Hare Krishna devotee by the name of Tarun. I'm trying to bring him in to help those persons that are having trouble with drugs, because he knew how to, to talk to people. I'm not going to say preach. He knew how to talk to people and bring them around. So I says, I'm going to bring this person around and help these boys out. So I'm bringing them in. I'm passing by the gate. I'm getting permission, and the gate man's giving me permission. This crazy Hare Krishna guy. You know, people hadn't seen him. You know, I'm dressed up as a good Navy man, but with my little bead bags and my little T-lock. But he's this person from, Puerto Rico, and he's like dark-skinned, and he has this white markings on his face, and he's shaved completely. So this is like a real knockout for the guards. So I told them what we were going to do, and they said, okay, here's your pass, and here's the place to go. So I'm walking in with him. Then we get to the first. We just get to the first road. And the admiral, he's in his car, but without the flags. So it's not anything official. He just went down to the, buy something, and he's coming out a back road. Not coming out like a principal road. He's coming out a back road. So he had to stop at the stop sign. Well, when he stops his car, we both looked at him, and we thought his eyes were going to fall out. Gun shy. The guy's gun shy. He's the admiral. He's got 90,000 men that he's going to send to Vietnam, and he's gun shy. Are you kidding me? So he drives his, the admiral car's there, and of course I'm saluting, and then the other boy, Tarun, he's given his namaste to the admiral. He's happy to see him. The admiral disappears. He goes to the floor. He doesn't want us to see him. This is the admiral of 90,000 men, gun-shy idiot, hits the floor. Then all of a sudden you see, I gotta laugh, you see his hand come up, and he's tapping the driver to go. So the driver crosses the street, but I watch him. He's not a dumb guy. He gets the driver to get out to find out who the heck this guy is bringing this Buddhist. You know, that's what he's thinking, a Buddha. Hare Krishna, you know, come on, you guys. Idiot. Just total idiot. No connection with the he made no connections with Vietnam. He just went there and... Anyways, so he started a battle with me. Of course, he made himself good, you know. He made himself good. Sent me to 4 different psychs. Now, you know, I'm crazy. I'm in that time. Nobody can say that they're sane at that time because they're young, and you know, we may go to Vietnam. I'm in fast attack submarine. Fast attack submarine. I'm ready. I'm going to make my father proud. So, you know, great. So here we are at that time, and he sends me to, first of all, he sends me to the psych of the boat, but me and the psych used to sit and joke and everything. So he just writes down, I don't find anything wrong with him. Then he sends me to do so many tests, and really intense tests on hearing, on this, on that. And then he sends me to another psych that was just a small psych of the base. And every one of them sends me back saying, we don't find anything wrong with this person. So then, the last guy, 1972, you know, this is about, and it's like, heck, because you know that the head guy's mad. And then they, you know, I'm not asking for pity or anything, I'm just showing you what happens inside the military. Sometimes these guys get wild and they can't take them out. Yeah, so this guy was wild. So then all of a sudden, I'm sitting, you know, I'm on watch. I'm not too much into drinking, I'm not too much into running around with women or anything like that. I'm just waiting for Sunday to go to Virginia Beach and have a Sunday feast with the Hare Krishna. That's about it, you know, just, that's my life. So all of a sudden I'm sitting there, I take other people's watch, it's $70 extra. $70 extra, you know, for Saturday, Sunday, or even Friday, Saturday, you know. So they're off, you know, doing whatever they want to do, and then I'm just sitting there. So, and it's just a watch. You just have to walk around. So I'm on that watch, and I'm sitting there on that valve. Well, what is the valve? Oh, it's the discharge pipe. It's the discharge pipe from the ionizer. Now, the ionizer in a nuclear power plant is that where all the water has to pass through the ionizer, and there's an ion exchange, so it takes off a lot of the contamination. Well, our ionize, the actual core of the ionizer was too full, and it was not doing its work. So the water that was going through it, even just sitting there in Norfolk, this is Norfolk, Virginia, even just sitting there, it was putting out over the spec, you know, contamination. Okay, that's all right, because it's got a valve, and I'm sitting on the valve with a lock on it, so to make sure nobody opens it up. So that was my sitting place. Not all the time. Some people even put a board down and just laid down on it so that they take a rest. You know, you do back to back. You do back to back means one's a rover and one's a person that just sits on the valve. So you do back to back with somebody else. And that's where you sleep. So it only takes 2 people to do the whole back part of the submarine while we're in port. So, and everybody else can go out. So, you know, we had fun. So then I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden the ET, you know, the electrical guy, I'm the mechanical guy, MM. But, you know, the ET, he comes up to me and says, oh, get away from that pipe. And I said, why do I have to get away from this pipe? I said, it's locked, there's no flow. He says, no, it's got a leak in it. I said, what? This is a gate valve and it's got a leak in it? He said, yeah, it's got a leak and it's over specs. And this is being thrown into the, you know, to the harbor. Right there in Norfolk Harbor. It's being thrown in there. And I said, what's going on here? He says, well, they don't want to put us into the shipyard because the admiral wants to make one more. I said, what is this? No, the admiral wants to give the captain a chance to do one more tour so he can go up a rank. Yeah, but we're putting contamination in here. I've been trained to do the right thing no matter who's saying it. I've been trained to do the right thing. So I was told in all the schools that I went through, the nuclear power schools that I went through, that if some emergency comes up, you have to call Washington, D.C., or make an effort to call Washington, D.C. So here it is Saturday, and there's nobody around. I got just E.T., and I'm saying, well, you know, I got this little badge on me, and it'll show up, won't it? He said, no, because it's too far away. I was just, oh, so now I know that I'm getting radiation for every little minute that I'm even standing around this thing. That's really great, you know. And they know. They're being told. I'm not being told. I'm not being warned. They know. And I'll tell you, I looked it up, and it was not reported on radiation failures or anything like that in that year. It was not reported. So it didn't even go to an official level. So of course, you know, I got upset, you know. My butt's getting radiated. And they know it's getting radiated. So I said, okay, I'll go to the office. You know, everybody's out. It's Saturday, you know, everybody's out. So I just went over to the phone that goes over to the tender. And I call in. I says, you know, I'm reporting above spec leakage into Norfolk Bay, you know, the harbor, from the USS Sea Devil. I think it's 664. I want to report that. And I want Washington to know about this. So now I got the admiral. He's against me. He wants me out. And then I got the captain. Because as soon as the Monday comes around, he calls me in. And he says, you make a phone call? And I looked at him and says, yes, sir. I made a phone call. And he just stares at me for a while. He doesn't even know what to say. And he says, all right. So, you know, maybe I hung myself, but I got a little bit upset that these guys are playing with people's lives, especially my back end. So, you know, I get kicked out. But it was really wonderful. The last psych, he was the head psych right at the, you know, big hospital in Norfolk. So when I come into that hospital and I shut the door, the first thing he says, when you open that door again and go out of this office, you are out of the Navy. But he says it in a nice way. I said, oh yeah? He says, yes. He says, I want to show you something. And he showed me a note. But the note was not a person that could write beautiful. It was a shaky note. And I says, whose note is this? He says, the admiral. I just says, I'm sorry, sir. I got to laugh about this one. This guy's a nut. And he says, well, because I was a little hard to read it, it says that he wanted me out, personally wanted me out. So then he does his way of doing things, and 3 times he asked me, you want to get out, in 3 different ways. And I said, sir, my father would be hurt. My father was a big, and I mean big person. Not maybe big in rank, but he was well respected. And I've done everything I could to make rank. I've done rank very fast. I behaved myself. I know what I'm doing. Yeah. That's for sure. And he says, well, sorry to say, the admiral wants you out. And because you answered no, when I asked you if you wanted out and you said no, then what happens is they have to prove beyond a doubt that you should be taken out. Because you said no 3 times, they have to prove, and they don't have the proof. I'm going to give you an out. But that out has to be honorable. They cannot give you a dishonorable discharge. It will not be allowed. So I said, thank you, sir. Of course, you know, a little bit. So here we are in this situation. So I already know that there, even at the top ranks, there's people that are loony. So, but I just can't get over it. You know, my father was he studied the Blackstone laws. You know, he was a lawyer, and he you know, being around him, you could. So I investigate things, you know. So, but I can't understand. I think my country is going mad. Not that I think, I know they are. But one thing is to go mad by mistake, and one thing is to go mad by plan. Can you tell me, my dear citizens of the United States, if somebody is putting himself up like the millionaire, the best businessman, the this, that, and the other, and he has 91 cases of filing bankruptcy. I'm not talking about, you know, maybe 1 or 2. I'm telling you, there is a system, and it's a very easy system to figure out. His friend, and I'm going to call them the Yadavas. I don't call them Jews because I know they're the Yadavas. They're the Yadavas from an island called Dwarka. So the Yadavas, the Yadavas are very tricky. And they're giving him money, and they're saying, buy this. So now this is not his money. This is somebody else's money, and he buys a certain real estate. Then what he does, he takes over that real estate, and he destroys it. Are you following? Doesn't take too much of a brain. He destroys it. Then he pleads with, oh, bankruptcy, bankruptcy. And the person who originally gave him the money comes and says, oh, I will buy that property and save you. Oh, thank you, sir. "91 times. And as the money comes in and as the money flows out, he's getting his profit. And he don't care. He owns nothing, actually. This was brought up by Dr. Shiva. He owns nothing in New York. Nothing. But how is it that you can't see what his object in the drama is? And drama, led by the lost Yadavas. Anybody knows here in India, the Yadavas are really tricky people. And they're not going to stop. You know, that your tribes, the 12 tribes, some of them came back to India. I think it's about 7 of the 12 tribes came back to India. But here, they're not kicked out because they know them. Here they just laugh about them. 109 other countries had to make the decision to kick them out. But here, they know them, and they don't trust them. They know their nature. They know what they do. They can always see how to do it. They don't kick them out of here. They don't worry about it. Let them do their business, but they're going to be controlled. And are you getting the picture? Oh, because it's from India, we can't talk about it. Right, Stu Peters, the great Stu Peters? He's blinding himself. He's not looking at where they're from. He's not looking at from where they're from. And they don't want you to go back further than 5,000 years, because that's where they're from. You'll find out that they're the Yadavas from Dwarka. Dwarka. I think it's D-W-A-R-K-A. Dwarka. Dwarka. Yeah. D-W-A-R-K-A. Dwarka. Look it up. Who's in charge in Dwarka? Who's the king of Dwarka? And why is he the king of Dwarka? He's got a plan. Talk about businessman. He's the biggest businessman you ever can think of. He wanted to bring all those who were oppressing the earth, the heavyweight guys. He wants the heavyweight guys 5,000 years ago, and many of them are in South America. South America is the entrance from the lower planetary system. So they just come in, they cross over to Argentina, and they're there, making trouble. So he's getting all these people, he's riling them up, and they're all making unity, and they're going to come together. This is everybody, all the way from South America, all the way across to India, and everything. We're going to bring all these people together in a place called Shukracharya. It's just a little bit above New Delhi. What is New Delhi now? We'll bring them right here, and they'll kill each other off. Why? Because this king of Dwarka, he doesn't see any sense of killing innocent people. He wants to kill the people that are the weight, the heavy weight against this earth. Let's bring these guys that want to kill everybody, bring them together and let them kill each other. So he's got to work out a deal, like, how can we do this? Everything's money. Nothing's like independence, democracy, or anything like that. Everything's based mostly on money. So all of a sudden, he says, what I'm going to do is I set up my base in Dwarka. Dwarka is just as you come over from the west, from Egypt, Israel, all those places. They come over, and now they got a port. And the port is made beautiful. It's got golden palaces and everything, and you can enjoy yourself and everything. Just come here. So the merchants are the guys that are actually doing all this fighting and everything. So he knows this. And the kings, they don't want to go to war and lose their head and everything, so they'd rather do business. So all the way on the east side of India, there's Jarasandha. And what is Jarasandha doing? He's collecting heavy taxes. See? He's a king, but he's collecting heavy taxes on all the merchants that are going through. You can look it up. It's foolish not to think this is happening. Millions of people were here. Then, you got the SilkTrade Route. You got, actually, you even have an upper SilkTrade Route to China. But it bypasses India, but that's in the cold season. You can't do it, so you have to take the lower one. It's all set up. It's all set up. And you got you're trying to tell me that there's no organization? Of course there was organization. Jarasandha had people all the way from Calcutta all the way over to Mumbai or Bombay. He had it all protected, that whole area. So they just had to come down the Ganga, come down the Yamuna, and go to the other side, and then just walk up to China. He's got it all covered, all covered. And that's his big taxing places. So what does Krishna do? What's this king do? I'm going to break him. He sets up his place off the sea, right? A little island off the sea called Dwarka. He makes a beautiful, beautiful port. This had to be set up because the Indus Valley, I hope people know a little bit of history. Indus Valley was before time. But what happened to the Indus Valley, it could have been a very good place too. It was a big port. It's very well known for a big port. And it's not a big port of just little boats. It's double mast boats and even more. That means big shipping. Not small shipping, you guys. Big shipping. And it has all the markings. Everything's there. The Indus Valley. Indus Valley. Indus Valley. So that, what happened there is the water went down. Okay, so now the water goes down. That means that island comes up. Okay, so the water there goes down, and of course you can't get the boats in anymore because it's north of Dwarka. It's north of Dwarka, and it's sitting there at the entrance of India, and you could go from there up 2 different rivers, and then you just get the river, the Yamuna and Gangas, and then you can go all the way to the other side. So it's a perfect place, but what happens is the water goes down, the port gets destroyed, it vanishes, but Dwarka then becomes prominent. And here this king sets it all up, and he sets it up pretty good because it's a lot of enjoyment on that thing. When you got people that you want to have as fighters, you got to have them with good girls, a lot of prostitutes, and a lot of drinking. So he put them offshore. Let's put these guys offshore, get them out of here, but they'll do their job. So okay, so now you got these offshore guys that you're riling up for a big fight with the other guys. And to know all the history, you would see how much you've been lied to. Thousands, not even thousands, millions. 630 million soldiers. Not this isn't Palestine with the kids, blowing up kids or anything. No, I'm not talking about that. That's the guys that have gone wild. No, I'm talking about soldiers killing each other. It was described that 5 lakes of blood. 18 days of fighting only. 18 days of fighting, let's bring them together, have them kill each other off, and then we can relax for another time. And they'll come up again. Oh, here we are. So, this king, he even knows planetary travel and everything. He's got a guy against him, a king by the name of Salva, who has a airplane that disappears, and he has all these magic things that he can do with his airplane. This is 7,000. It's 5,000 BC, so it's about 7,000 years back. I'm trying to talk fast, but it's really hard, and it's morning time, and I'm just waking up. I didn't even throw water on my face, I just thought I'd get this out, because it just drives you nuts to see you guys all perplexed about this Trump. He's doing it on purpose. And you're fighting some people that have been doing this for thousands of years. You just say no. That's how you deal with them. You just say no. You just have to say no. We know you. They don't want you to know what I'm telling you. But they know how to do their job. So they were, you could say, in a, like really stretching it out, chosen people. Yeah. Chosen people for what? Yeah, this king chose them because he knew that they were expert in cheating, and also they were expert in fighting. So let's get the chosen people here. And then we'll use these chosen people. And who are they? They're actually family members, the Yadavas. And what are you doing? You're listening to some guy that has no authority or anything like that? Yeah, I have authority. My authority is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In a conference, more than private conference, he is sitting with some devotees, and they're asking, who are these people? And excuse me for using the word Jews. Who are? And of course, Prabhupada says, very frankly, they're the lost Yadavas. And that's what they are. They are the lost Yadavas. They are those people that were called, chosen. Yeah, chosen to do dirty work. And they do their dirty work pretty good. But they're chosen. We can go along with that one. They're chosen. And now you've got your hand in it. You've got this cheater that's just dealing with them. Taking money from somebody else, buying property, destroying the property. The other guy comes in and buys the property himself, and that's it. And he's made money twice. Yeah, Trump has made money twice, and now he's doing it for the country. Oh, he's trying his best, and no, you got listen to Dr. Shiva. He's trying to tell you, you know. Dr. Shiva's just coming right out. He's doing it on purpose, and you just keep on like the tiger running after its tail. You're like the tiger running after its tail, you know. You're really incredibly foolish. Incredibly. I just got to sit here, you know, I'm being humorous and everything, but, and I'm not asking for anybody to take any action because it's good, you know. Just better that they make a war and the warriors kill the warriors, you know. Let them make the war and the warriors kill the warriors, and that's it. And everything settles back down. Anyways, that's part of the, that's the cycle. So you accept the cycle, you know, but don't accept all this foolishness. I mean, I could put all these videos and you could see how much is out there trying to tell you something, but you think, oh, it's Hindu. Oh, the people in India who were speaking and everything, those personalities that were speaking, they had no boundaries. They didn't even have boundaries to a earth existence. They didn't have boundary to universal existence. They were speaking for everybody. But everything is tagged as, oh, it's Hindu. And that's it. You can't think about it. You can't even listen to it. It's like a contamination and everything. No. It's planned. It's planned so you don't go to the real source, and you don't know who the people actually are and what they're really up to and how much trouble it is to control them. And anyways, it, you know, he's got it in control, and I can just sit here and laugh it up. There's nothing else to do, but you know, I can see how everything is just falling apart, planned, falling apart. It's planned falling apart. It isn't just falling apart. You got to understand, it's planned, and it's a pretty good plan, and everybody's falling for it. So you gotta, very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. So at the end of the drama, you can sit back and laugh and have some fun. Okay, good luck with your president. Yeah. The best of all businessmen. 91 bankruptcies. 91 bankruptcies. And nobody's saying anything about it. 91 bankruptcies. He does it on purpose. It doesn't take anybody with a brain, you know, to figure it out. that he's doing it on purpose, and now he's got a hold of the whole country, and he's going to do it on purpose. And you're not going to stop it. You know, just let it flow out, you know. Let it flow out. Just watch, sit back, watch, put your food aside, you know, let them fight it out. Let them get it out from underneath them. You know, they got it in their skin. Let them get it out. Don't get involved in all this stuff. Just stay out of it. Okay. I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful to the Admiral for kicking me out. I was able to join a real movement. Not some political fake movement, but a real movement. And somebody would say, oh, you're not America first. Of course I am. But you can't save America first in the way you guys are doing it. But you can save America first if you just follow the rules and regulations set down by the guy who made this place. Yeah, the rules and regulations set down by the guy that made this place. That's the way to save a country, if you have any respect for it at all.